why Rainbow Six Siege could die soon. This video will be in two parts. The first will be looking at the problems with Siege right now, and the second part will be about the problems with Shadow Legacy. By the end of the video, I hope to have convinced you as to why Siege could die soon. Here we go. Nowadays, there are so many ways to cheat on Siege. On console especially, mouse and keyboard, Cronus, strike packs, and booting are in every game. It gives the cheater a significant advantage over regular players, as you get better aim and add-ons like rapid fire pistols and no recoil. It's hard to find a lobby of a Plat 3 nowadays without at least a few players using all or a combination of these things. In champion lobbies on console, it's very rare to find a controller player. Everyone you spectate has very jittery aim and zero recoil. The higher ranks on console are very cancerous at the moment, but sadly Ubisoft can't do anything about these third-party devices, so it's likely it'll only get worse. The sad thing is that a good portion of people I know have turned over to mouse and keyboard or Cronus to compete on console at the higher rank. The fact you need to do this to have a fighting chance on console is a real problem with Siege. I played 4 placement matches on my Smurf account this season. 3 out of 4 of the games I played, either I had a number of booters on my team or the enemy team. It got to a point in one game where it became a match of if you could boot them before they could boot you, you'd win. I dropped 13 kills that match, but I lost, because it doesn't matter how good you are anymore. What matters is how quick you can boot the enemy team offline. I'm aware this season especially, there have been some new websites which will list everyone's IPs in the higher ranks for console. So if you aren't blacklisted, you can't play the game. Something that really amazes me is that people are still willing to DDoS the Siege servers. People still do this sometimes, even though Ubisoft have threatened legal action. Imagine committing a crime to win at a video game. At the moment, Siege isn't played the way it was intended to be played. I was a bandit thermite main, and I've seen a big shift in how the game is played over time. Siege used to be all about using your gadgets and gaining a tactical advantage over the enemy team. Now instead of opening a hard wall or bandit tricking, I'm seeing everyone run an entirely frag heavy team, which often consists of 5 stacks of IQ, Amaru, Ash, Ying, Finker, with dual G8s, boosted health. Because nowadays it's way more viable to buy a mouse and keyboard, grab a good fragging up, rush, and play like a rabid brain dead COD player, than to actually come up with a tactical plan. That's what rank has come to in the higher lobbies, and for a lot of people, it's not the same game it once was. If you didn't already know, in Shadow Legacy, they are removing the traditional ACOG scope from all defending operators and the majority of attacking operators. This means Doc, Rook, Echo, Goyo, and Cade are all losing their ACOGs, with Rook and Cade receiving sniper scopes on their weapons. The only defender who still has ACOG is Vigil's Boss G. This is a really big change for the game. They are adding in several new sights as substitutes, including 1.5 times zoom sight for most defending operators. This includes ops like Castle, Mute, Frost, and Mirror. Even though they've removed infamous defender ACOGs, the fact that all these other ops get zoom sights will probably introduce more spawn peekers. In general, to me at least, the new sights look clunky, far too big, and they have large dials hanging off the side obscuring vision. They take up way too much of the screen and frankly don't look as clean as the old sights. The removal of the old ACOG on attack will encourage people to play with that run and gun mentality even more now, as you can't hold angles at a distance anymore. We all know this will reward those mouse and keyboard brain dead aggressive players. In my opinion, this could really break Siege for good. Earlier, I talked about how support players are becoming irrelevant as run and gun takes over. This new attacker gadget that allows most ops to equip a hard breach charge makes the old support ops like Thermite useless. Consider this, why bring a Thermite when you can bring an Amaru who has a G8, SMG11 and a hard breach? In a new update, Thatcher's EMPs only disable gadgets like bandit batteries. This is a nerf to Thatcher in many ways, as he only disables instead of destroys. However, this removes bandit tricking. You can't bandit trick anymore with Thatcher on the board, as the bandit that's been placed can't be replaced while the Thatcher effect is active. This will make it far easier for the new gadget to get the wall open, which further gets rid of the need for a Thermite or a bandit. All you need is a Thatcher and a secondary hard breach gadget. I played Siege since launch, and in my opinion, the game is at an all-time high right now, in terms of the content the game provides. However, I can also easily say right now that Siege has the most toxic player base ever had. Yeah, I think it's worse than Phantom Sight's DOSing. At least in those matches you didn't have to play the whole match, as they just crashed the server if you were winning. The levels of cheaters on console is ridiculous. Almost everyone has either given up playing at a disadvantage or has turned to cheating themselves. It's a real shame to say that's the reality. Siege is my favourite game, but it is. The fact that there are lists of player IPs open for everyone to view online to help with booting goes to show what a terrible state the game is in. Console, if you click on a party invite or a message from an enemy, the odds are they'll log your IP, put it on one of their sites, and you won't be able to play the game anymore. It's so toxic, it's unbelievable. The rise in the use of mouse and keyboard and Cronus is fueling a rise in totally fragger-dominated teams who solely rely on their cheater aim to win rounds. A difference between Siege and Call of Duty is slowly but surely getting less and less. As for the changes coming in Shadow Legacy, the removal of the ACOG will further encourage this brain-dead run-and-gun mentality, as more gunfights will be at shorter ranges. The new versions of the Hollow and Red Dot are clunky and play up way too much of the screen. The addition of zoom sights to the guns like Mira's Vector on defense will encourage more spawn peeking and more aggressive play, as defense and attack will both be using 1.5 times zoom sights. The original tactical side of the game, which required you to pick a more diverse range of operators, sacrifice good weapons, tactical advantage, like Thermite, will be irrelevant. These problems are pushing Siege in one direction, to be more like COD. This is why Siege as we know it could die. The game won't die for a while, as there'll still be cheaters who enjoy that run and gun playstyle, but for us, the players who enjoyed Siege for what it was, could die pretty soon. This video took a while to make, so a like would be really appreciated. If you disagree with anything I said, leave it in the comments. I reply to all of them. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.